This watch right here, as of recording this video, is the most popular Casio of 2026. But does it live up to its hype? Let's find out. Welcome back to Nishant's Wrist Game, and today we have an interesting Casio which is the W221H. Let's start unboxing it. The packaging of this watch is very similar to the AE1200 and its series. I'm very confident that this watch would be a cult classic. You have the information about the serial number of the watch as well as the price and the manufacturer date. So you have the same standard Casio black box over here. You've got cushion, which is something new and appreciable, and you have the watch, which I'll show you a little later. And then what else is in the box is you have warranty registration card. It runs the module 3585. You have the warranty card again inside. You have the price tag, and you have more foam, which is appreciated. Let's keep this back inside and keep it aside, and the Casio logo somewhere over here so that people can see it. And the watch, it's wrapped in this plastic paper, which is really nice, and you have again foam. You have a tag as well. Let me just remove this tag first, and here's the watch. This watch is almost similar to any basic Casio, but it has a few features which sets this apart from the others. Let's start with the dimensions. It has a length of 43.7mm, a width of 38.4mm, and a thickness of 12.2mm. It weighs approximately 35 grams. It has a resin case, strap, and glass. 50 meters of water resistance, a brand new module which is the 3585. If I have to point out a few features, it has world time up to 29 countries, alarm, stopwatch, timer, and a dual amber LED backlight, as well as a full auto calendar. The design of this watch is new but very familiar. Many people compare this watch with the AE1200, but it is not true. If you want me to compare the AE1200 with this watch, get this video 200 likes and I'll do it next. So let's talk about this watch. You have a boxy 90s inspired design, which is actually very cool when you look at the pictures, but when you see it in real life, it is a little different. It also has a bezel which is metallic finished. It's similar to what the other budget Casios used to have, like a metallic paint which looks metal, but it is really not. The case is very sturdy, and it reminds me of the step tracker watch Casio released a few years ago, and it looks very similar to that, but it is a very toned down version of that watch. The buttons are also satisfying to click, as well as they are very sturdy. Underneath the metallic finished bezel, you have a casing. It has a 10-year battery, 50 meters of water resistance written, again a water resistance branding as well as illuminator, like almost all the Casios. Adjacent to the buttons, you have the functions of what they do with a small streak of teal. That is a good differentiation when it comes to the watch, because the colors of these watches are very similar, but this one is a standout model, and it has a very large display as well. So in the display, you're divided into a few segments. On the top left, you have the day of the week. Then on the top right, you have a design similar to a rectangle and a square together, and you have each function which is turned on in the watch. So you have snooze, alarm, signal, and mute. So you can turn on and off all these features, and you have the time in between. Below the time, again the display is divided into two with the line marking, one showing the month of the year as well as the date. People might get confused. This is in the American format, day, month first and day later. I thought it was only for the international models, but it's same for the Indian models as well. And you have seconds running after that. It has a resin strap which doesn't feel very premium, but still it doesn't make you uncomfortable. There's a Casio branding at the buckle as well. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to this channel. I am Nishant, and this is Nishant's Wrist Game, a channel dedicated to watch enthusiasts. Don't forget to hype this video as it reaches more people and helps the channel as well. Thank you. Let us go through the features of this watch. When you press the mode button the first time, you get world time. You can toggle between all the world times, and then you have a stopwatch, you have a timer, you have an alarm, and it goes back to normal timekeeping mode. One more sleek feature is if you press the search button, you can toggle between 16 hours and 24 hours, and you have the light button as well as the adjust button. So if you go through the adjust button, you have a lot of functions to actually set the daylight saving. Daylight saving is something included in this watch, which is really nice. You can also mute and unmute the watch by long pressing the mode button, and even in the timekeeping mode. So it mutes the sound and it unmutes it if you do it again. I have to seriously talk about the build quality when it comes to this watch. I've used a lot of Casios, and this is the first Casio I've seen get damaged within just one day of use. The resin case is solid. The resin strap might be uncomfortable if you're using it in a very wet situation, but the resin glass is something very disappointing. I just wore this watch for the first time and I was moving a few stuff here and there, which included metal parts. To my surprise, I found a scratch on the display. This rarely happens in any of the Casios I've owned so far. Only if I use it very rough, it happens, but if I use it normally, this is the first time it's happening, and even the case back started to scratch within a day's use, which is very disappointing. Consider the price, you can actually let it go. Probably because of the bezel placement in the glass in this model, it's more magnetic to scratches, so that might be the reason, but other than that, the build quality is sufficient for the price. The backlight of this watch is just interesting, but it is not as powerful as the other backlights we've seen so far. The good thing is it's not ghosting, but you have a sleek feature when it comes to this watch, which is sync. When you set the time, you have an option to choose between sync as well as your timer on and off. I was thinking of choosing between 1 second and a 3-second timer, but I only got the sync function. Once you activate the sync function, what literally happens is, if you are going into any mode, for instance, it works best in stopwatch, alarm and signal. If you go to stopwatch, before the stopwatch starts, it blinks. The same thing happens in the timer function as well. So once the timer is about to end, it gives you a flashing light. It indicates that your timer has finished. And similar happens with the alarm as well. I feel like this function is cool looking, but I don't see the practical use of it. Anyways, I'll discuss that later. But I feel for the display, it's little lower. They could have given one on the bottom and one on the top, so it would be more divided. But they gave both on the bottom, and I feel like at some places light doesn't travel all the way to the top of the display, which is something which I found out. I've already discussed some of them. Let's start with the pros. It's the price, which I'll discuss in the next chapter. So the price of this watch is so perfect that you can use it to your extent and replace it. Second is the 10-year battery. The 10-year battery in this watch really makes it a value for money tool watch. I'm using the term tool watch because it can do most of the things basic Casio or a basic G-Shock cannot do. Third is the display. The display is quite legible and you can see it from even a far off distance. I'm just keeping it near the camera, almost near the camera, and I can still see the time from that distance. Backlight is also really great, which I'd shown you before, and it's a really great backlight and it has a sleek feature which I've also shown you before. Let's start with the cons. The first is build quality. Build quality is a little disappointing when it comes to this watch. So many people might say it's similar to an F91, but for the price of a AE1200, if they give a quality of F91, it's not acceptable. So that is something which I really didn't like about this watch. And the second thing is, I wouldn't say this is a con, but sync function in this watch, I don't know if there's a real-time use for it. Maybe when you're in dark or something like that, it might be useful, but I feel like it might drain the battery sooner than you think. The last thing is, I'm not saying it's a con. If you go into a function, it takes at least 2 seconds to get into that function, which might be normal most of the Casio fans, but I feel like this is taking a little more longer than expected. So I wouldn't say this is a big con, but still it's something which is intriguing. Price of this watch makes it really attainable to most of the people. It's priced at $2,995, which is a really good price when it comes to a budget Casio. And this offers a little more than a budget Casio. Many people sell this watch for even 2 times the price, so please don't fall for the hype. Just wait, you'll get the watch. You get it in 3 colors as well, so you can choose between them, and you have an all negative display as well if you like it. Please don't buy the watch in a higher price as you'll be getting scammed. So these are my thoughts on the Casio W221H, and it's a really great watch to actually work with. I would mainly use it for a daily wear, and as well as if I'm going for any sport events, I would use this watch. Gives you almost anything you want. You can also travel with this watch. It's more sleek and it's more comfortable. I forgot to mention, but I'm not sure if you can actually change straps in this watch because it's similar to those old Casio straps. So changing different straps might be an issue. So please do check that out. Other than that, this is a really great watch. I would recommend you to buy it. Don't rush and buy it only because it's overhyped. So just wait for some time and then you can think about buying this watch even after a year. So it's not a hurry. If you haven't seen my previous video about the new Longines Hydro Conquest, you can check it out here, as well as the playlist of all the watch videos I've made over here. I'll see you next with another exciting video. Until then, peace out.